Hi there, I'm coming to you live on Facebook, and I am also running this from Zoom. So we are waiting to see people showing up on Facebook and Zoom at the same time. So forgive me if there's a little bit of back and forth weirdness going on. I'm kind of pushing myself to my max on capacity when I'm trying to create something creative and be on Facebook and be on Zoom all at the same time. So let's hope this all works in a miracle of technology. I'm here in Ireland. It's 5 o'clock here. And I know for some of you it's noon where you are, some of you it's night where you are. So we're all in different time zones in different places. So there is a little bit of a lag between Zoom and between Facebook. So for some of you, you might be seeing me live in Zoom now. I am having a little snaggy poo here with the Facebook Live. So let me just check on that for just a second. No, are you seeing it live? Yeah. Okay, so we are live on Facebook. So I think what might be going on is in the Zoom room, for some reason, it's giving people another signal. So I'm going to ask the people who are waiting on the link to go to Facebook. So that will just take a second. And here we go. I am not sure why it was doing that, but let me tell you what I can do. I can do this as well. So give me 1 second here to let everybody in the room who is waiting on the board. Okay, here we go. There we go. That's the two of us. That's all of us, all here. How's that? Why is it doing that? No? Just a second. Sorry about that. There we go. That should be better. Can you still hear me? I hope it still can. Okay, so I'm about to admit everybody who's been waiting in the other room. I'm not sure why it's being so tricky, but this will just take us a moment to get through. So if you can bear with me for just a second. Here we go. Just a second.
Yes.
You can still hear me? Great. I appreciate that. My trusty assistant here, my partner Ryan, is amazing for helping me in moments like this where things are a little tricky. So hang on just a second. We are starting the other group. Let me just get them in here and show you the speaker view. There we go. Gallery, full screen. Hopefully I'm hearing you. Hopefully you're seeing me. Oops, I hate when that happens. Okay, so it looks like for some reason the Zoom room is not linking to letting everybody else in. But you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, my apologies to those people waiting in the Zoom room. We're going to go ahead and just get this going with the Zoom that we have. So, okay, sorry about this technical. I've just got a couple of people waiting in the Zoom room. Hang on a second. So fun to do something tricky. Okay, so here we go. All right, we're going to go ahead with the workshop. My apologies to anybody who's waiting in the Zoom room, and I'm just trying to respond to the messages for people who are having a little bit of a tricky time. If you can just respond to those people in there and just ask them if they go to Facebook Live. So we're talking about the importance of today of doing a vision board. And so one of the things that I want to share with you is that when you're doing a vision board, it's not so much about you creating images or sounds or colors or light that are replicas of what you want to experience. What it's really about is that you create something that you feel resonates with you. In other words, vision boards are not about going through a catalog and creating a catalog of what you want. In other words, you're not just creating a brochure of, hey, I'd like a new car, hey, I'd like a hot guy or a hot woman or whatever it is. So one of the things about vision boards is that it's as much about you getting in touch with how you feel as it is about anything else. Okay, so one of the things that I really want to encourage you to do is I really want to encourage you to think about the way that you're feeling, and I want you to think about what it is that you want to experience in 2021. So, for example, I have to admit I'm not a huge fan of how this the Zoom link went and why it didn't open. I don't know. For those people who are waiting for me on Zoom, my apologies. But we're here now on Facebook Live, and hopefully that's working for you, no problems. And the beauty of this is that what you can do is that you can gather whatever you have. For example, whether you have colored pencils or whether you have markers, okay? Whatever you have that you can gather, that's what's important, okay? So you can have, if you're someone who collects a lot of art supplies, if you're someone who collects a lot of art supplies, if you're someone who gathers a lot of markers, as I do, whatever you have, that's what matters, okay? So some of us have a lot of art training, some of us have no art training. It really doesn't matter. When it comes to vision board, if you can rip things from a magazine and you can glue things in, or you can sellotape them in or tape them in, whatever you can do, that's all that matters. Okay, so it's not about being an artist. In fact, for my artist friends, one of the hardest parts probably of doing a vision board is that they feel it has to be a work of art, and it really does not. It's a work of art in that you did it and you created it. So from that perspective, it's a work of art. But from other perspectives, it is not, okay? This is not the goal. The goal here is to convey the way you want to feel, and you're literally, in doing so, you're tapping into something that is subconscious, okay? So one of the things that you want to do is that you want to find a way to get yourself some space, and I hope that today has given you the space. So in doing this workshop, you have created the space, right? So in doing this workshop, you've created this space for Facebook Live, and you've made the time today to be here. This is really what this is about. It's about carving that space out for yourself. So right now, I'm in my kitchen. I'm at my kitchen table. I have some things with me. I have some pens, some paints, some markers, some different things. And then I have a bunch of just older magazines that I'm not using anymore. I have some pieces of paper that I have created before. I even have some napkins and serviettes. I have just pieces of wrapping paper. I have stamps. I have all kinds of things. So the point here is that you are going to try as best you can, and I'm off to a bad start with my few glitches on Zoom, but we'll get through it, okay? So what we want to do now is we want to kind of breathe into what we're doing, and all people have rituals around this. For example, some people will be like, oh, I've got to get my glass of water. Now, one of my dangers is I am forever dipping my paintbrushes into my water glasses, so I got a water glass that doesn't look like that. Ryan, can you go on Facebook and just let people who want to be friends so they can join the group? Okay, so for some people, they're still trying to get into the group, and Ryan is being my fabulous IT guy here and letting people into the group on Facebook. So that's really helpful. Thank you, Ryan. For some of us, it's get a trusty mug of tea or coffee. Some of you are a little freer spirits. You might want to do a touch of wine or a beer or something that you enjoy. So it's about getting yourself comfortable. It's about getting yourself in a space where you're comfortable. I know some of you are doing this with kids and family members, and I want to say it's really good to give everybody their own space. If you can, and you have scissors for everybody, or if you have tape or whatever, you want to put that in a spot where people can reach it without getting into your personal space or you getting into their personal space. I've done these workshops pre-COVID with up to 30 people at one time. I've done it in groups of 5. I've done it in different parts of the world. It's an incredible gift to give yourself. But at some point, you're going to want to join in. You're going to want to kind of just really rest into it. So if you're worrying about where things are or how things are, it's not going to work out. Okay. So the goal here is that this be low stress. The goal here is that you be in a position where you can just find what you need and you're using your favorite thing. For example, this is a little Ziploc bag I have of gel pens. I'm not sure what the limit of gel pens are for grown women. And those of you who are little who are watching this, you can be excited to know that when you get older, you can buy all the gel pens that you want because you're grown up now. So you want to make sure you have things like an eraser. You want to, this is for big mistakes. I love this one. And you want to make sure you have tape and glue and whatever else you need. Okay, so you want to make sure you have everything that you need, and you want to make sure that in having everything that you need, you are able to reach it, because you don't know, once you get in the flow, things start to move. But the biggest problem for most of us in getting started in any kind of vision board work or any kind of collaging or any kind of creativity is the noise. Okay, the noise in the back of your head, the noise that is talking constantly. Oh, you were never good at art. Oh, your sister is much better than you at art. Whatever the little jabbering is, it's really important to shut that down, to close that down. Okay, so what we do want to do is we want to breathe in. Just kind of meet yourself where you are. We're going to start where we are. If you've had the worst year of your life, if you've had the best year of your life, it doesn't matter, okay? What matters is that we're here and this is an opportunity to practice presence, okay? So that's what we're doing. This is a gift that we're giving ourselves. This is a practice that we are sharing with the world at the moment. And if you have any questions or comments on Facebook and you want to throw it into the Facebook chat, Ryan, my fabulous partner here, is going to read it to me. So if you're like, hey, Nadia, what about this? What about that? What kind of paper should I use? Blah, blah. Whatever you want to ask me, if you want to throw it in the chat, Ryan will kindly tell me what that is, because otherwise I won't know. All right. So don't hesitate to ask me questions because I will see them. And the other thing is, if you throw a question or comment or compliment, go ahead, throw it in the chat. After this is over, I'll be able to go back to that and work it out. Again, apologies for anyone who was waiting for me in the Zoom. I hope, Ryan, if you can check my messages there, hopefully in the emails, if anyone was waiting for that, we've got you in. So hopefully we have people on Facebook Live with us now. All right, I think this is hilarious. This was my 2019 vision book journal. I hope you can see it. I know it's dyslexia. It looks backwards for a lot of you in the view. Does it? Does it look backwards, Ryan? On the screen there, it should say Flow 2019. And ironically, it says celebrating creativity, imperfection, and life's little pleasures. So what I did basically here, you can see, is on this vision board, which is actually the cover of something, what you can do is you can see the letters and this. And what I did is I basically cut out 4 letters that say flow. And I put those 4 letters together. I made them myself because I didn't. Celebrating creativity, imperfection, and life's little pleasures. I cut that off the front of a magazine. And this is a paper that I did myself, that I created myself. I am free to flow is what it says down here. You don't think you can see that. So this is an art creation that I made, a vision book that I made, that I actually expanded into a little book. Now, some of you just want to do one poster, one page, and that's totally fine. Some of you might find you do a page or a sheet, and then what we're going to do is we're going to glue that on a book cover if you want, or you're just going to leave it as is. And the beauty of a vision board is you would want to put that somewhere where you can see it. And this is a very simple vision board example. I think you can see that. So there's a border that I drew myself. Can they see that, Ryan, do you think? On,
it's slower here, so it takes.
Okay, sorry, it's taking a minute. Okay, so it's taking a minute for it to go from this side of the table to that side of the table. Yep. So if you're on the other side of the world. So what this is I drew a border, I hand drew a border. Now, again, you can use collage. So that means you can collage anything you want. You can cut up little snips of paper and you can make them. And then what I did is I wrote something. And this is actually a very important email that I was sent by a friend. She had advanced stage cancer, and she sent me an email. And when she sent me that email, I wanted to always have that email because it was the last one she ever sent me. And so I got a sheet and I decorated it and I wrote it in different colored pens. And I keep this posted in my room to remind me of my love for her. And she said, I will think of you as being so fulfilled, creative, and loving. I have always thought of you as family. I abide forever in that truth, that we are all in that loving truth. And so it is. And this was the last email that I got from her. So I just want to show you that your vision board for how you want to feel, if you want to feel more love, if you want to feel more care, if you want to just remind yourself, it can be as simple as a sheet of paper, markers, and color, and that's it. Okay? It can be that simple. So this can be as complicated as a book, or it can be as simple as one sheet. There's no wrong way. So let's get that clear. Then what we want to do is we want to think about it in terms of a vision. In other words, a vision is this bigger umbrella, okay? It's this bigger sense of what is life about for me. So it's not one specific thing. Like I said, it's not just a car, or it's not, one specific thing. It's about a feeling that you want to have. And from that perspective, I want to share this vision page with you. And this one is, again, some images that were cut out, some painting and coloring that I did myself. And this came together, and it says, if it's your dream, we can help you live it. And this one here says, spice up your life. What did that mean? And so it said, I should never put this on here. It said recipe for disaster. I think that was where I went wrong. So again, this is somebody sitting at a desk, painting, drawing, writing, whatever she's doing. And it says, spice up your life. It's your dream. We can help you live it. So what you may want to do is you may want to create something that feels a certain way. Here's another example. This one says, new, love, beauty, and planet. Uniquely you. And so it's some different images. Again, this is a paper that I made, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. And then these are some other images. And this actually really now, this was a vision book from 2 years ago. This actually is a lot of how my studio looks now. So one of the things that you'll find is as you create vision boards, you'll actually be able to go back to your vision board. And what you will find is that in the future, you'll actually see things and go, wow, that is something that I ended up doing. That is something that ended up happening. That is something that I do now experience in my life. Some of you are more visual than you are about words. The words here say, I've never known any trouble that an hour's reading didn't assuage. Okay. And it says, this is the beginning of anything you want. And what it has here is some art supplies, a happy window with some flowers. Now, this was from 2 years ago. Look behind you. Happy window with some flowers, right? So you can see that there's something about doing vision work that when you've done vision work, you can look back. My niece Sarah, I believe, is on here live with us from New York. And Sarah and I frequently say, oh, that was on my vision board. Oh, that was in my vision book. I put that in my vision book. I've actually had people say to me, I put you in my vision book and you're here and you're part of it now. So I just want to really encourage you that it can be very, very simple. Now, the other thing I want you to think about is this. When it comes to visioning, sometimes a color or a feeling, it can just say everything. You don't even need to say very much. So look at this for my youngsters and my happy people in here. What does this look like? This is glittery. This is Glitterville. Look at this. My partner, Ryan, don't avert your eyes, Ryan. Ryan does not love glitter. Anyway, so this is very pink, shimmery. Ooh, look at that. And it's got a pink heart. And look, it's got a fuzzy pink ring around the heart, like it's a little angel heart. That's all it is. So this vision page I did one time was because I just wanted to feel sparkly. I wanted to feel sparkly, loving happiness. And I wasn't feeling that. Let me just say, on the day that I put the sparkly pink overload on this page, I was not feeling love. I was feeling pretty grim. But somehow making this purpley pink page, it lifted my spirits. It made me feel better. It's kind of like, why am I wearing this lipstick? Because for some reason it makes me feel better. It's a total trick. It's a brain hack. It's a way of hacking your brain that something makes you feel better. Okay? So some of you are going, God, that's awful. I would hate that. I don't want that at all. Especially, you might be just like, that's the worst. But for some of you, you look at this and this makes you happy. So the beauty of creating a vision board and then creating a vision book is that you literally can take it and post it somewhere in your life and watch it and look at it and see it, and it inspires you. So the goal here, remember, is not instruction. The goal here is that you have a feeling. Okay, that it makes you feel a certain way, and that in feeling that certain way, something is coming to life for you. And that's really the goal of what we are trying to do. Here, for example, is another page. These are two little birds. I painted this one and I cut this one out of a magazine. And here it says, I realized that I had become my own prisoner. Yikes. So this page is about awareness. And it was about the awareness that I had become my own prisoner. Okay, so I just wanted to show you a few examples of the different styles and the different ways that you can do things. Some of you are very creative and love color and want color, and some of you might not feel that way. So if you look here on this page, it's a very bright orange, and it says, now launching, go for it. As a society, we yearn for connection and a sense of belonging to find our tribe. So some of you know that my work is really about creating a tribe in which people feel loved, connected, understood, compassion. And so here's someone at a desk creating that. Your global business partner, grow, glow, go, all the way, go for it. And somebody creating a mug of tea and a vision book there. So now launching, which is kind of ironic, right? Because here I am launching this today. So again, the whole point of this work is you, finding you. So let's get started. So what I have here, how are we doing, Ryan?
Very good.
Do we have some people online with us?
Yes, we do. We've got 25 folks.
What? There's 25 of you on there? You found me. And apologies again to all my poor beauties. And did the Zoom people get in? We don't know what happened.
I don't know.
So sorry. Okay, well, I hope you found me online, and I'm glad you're here. And those of you who watch this later, I'm glad you're here too. So I don't know, do we need to close out that other Zoom box? Anyway, I'll figure that out in a minute. When you're doing something, I'll try and figure out what the hell I'm doing. Okay, so one thing that's very helpful that you may or may not have is something called a color wheel. You see this beauty? I want to say this was like, I don't know, it was less than $1 or €1. And it's my pocket color wheel. Those of you who are at home, who's like me, all their art supply stores are closed, you can actually print one of these out online, or you can just look at one in a book. But basically what we want to understand about the color wheel, and this is not an art class, but what I want you to understand is that power in making or creating something oftentimes comes because you've got contrast on the wheel. Okay, so for example, we've got red, orange here and blue, green here. Across from each other. So there's a lot of power in contrast. I've got fabulous, amazing friends with MFAs in art who give you a much better account of that. But I just want to say to you in this, use your favorite colors, but as you use your favorite colors, if you want to really see some impact, even in the way you dress, right? I got dark hair, so bright colors, better, okay? So again, you can look across from it. And I created, there goes my dog. I created this little thing. I'm not finished with it yet. But if you can see, it's orange and white. But what it also has in it is some green. And this was created in a collage form. This is what we call a mandala. And this was created, but by using the orange, and these are little cows. Can you see that those are little cows? So this is about sacredness for me, and orange, for those of you who are super smart, who know these things about world religions, know that orange is the chakra color for passion. So spicing it up again. So again, this is something that I made. This is made on a little canvas. Okay.
Gosha says, can you do a vision board on a laptop? I feel more comfortable with it.
Yes, yes, thank you, Gosha. Good question. In fact, you're jumping me way ahead. You absolutely can. In fact, you can do a great vision board on Pinterest. Pinterest is perfectly set up for there. In fact, if you go on Pinterest and you look up my name, you will see many collages made on Pinterest. It's perfectly set up for that. And you can even name the board, and then you can throw everything that you want in there visually, digitally. Those of you who are geniuses at Photoshop, I know, for example, my friend Jules, I think Jules is on here too. She's great with digital images and putting words and language with it. So yes, 100%, a vision board can be created digitally, and you jumped me ahead to that, so I appreciate that. Though some of you are completely uncomfortable with pens and paper and ink and glitter, and some of you live for it, and like myself, you have your body weight in art supplies, but some of you are not. So you absolutely 100% can make this digitally. You can use the software to make it. You can do it in Photoshop if you want. You can do it in Canva. And Canva has a free app that you can use. So you can definitely do the vision board in Canva as well. So there's Canva, there's, you know, Pinterest is magically set up for it. I have dozens and dozens of boards on there already, and you can name it whatever you want to name it. So there are lots of ways, Gosha. I hope that answers your question. And the beauty, of course, doing it digitally is you're fully in control of color. You're fully in control of the words and what you say. So that is really, really helpful. So I wanted to share this page with you again, old school painting, cut, glued together, because that's kind of my thing. But it says, it starts with intention. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah, it starts with intention. So I've got a piece of paper here. Again, those of you who want could do this digitally. And if you're super wicked smart, you can go on to Photoshop, or you can go on to Pinterest right now, and you can keep me open because you're so smart. For some of you who don't feel that comfortable, you just can stay right here and take notes, and then you can do it later. Or if you want to paint along, go along with me, you can. So I have a piece of paper here, a piece of cardstock paper. This is what's called multi-purpose paper. I tend to use multi-purpose paper because I like watercolors and inks and liquid inks and things like that, and they bleed. But you can use poster board. You can use the back of a cereal box. You can do whatever you want. You can do it any way you want. If you live by yourself, you could do a wall, whatever you want to do. So there's all kinds of ways that you can do this. And for some people, it becomes a book, and they use it all year, and they create it all year. So did that answer your question, Ryan? Are we good there? Do we have clearance? Okay. Any other questions? See how well that worked? Throw it in the chat, and Ryan will tell me. Now, you don't have to do this at all, but you can if you're super fancy. I have painter's tape, and it's gone around the edges. And what painter's tape does is it creates a little bit of an edge. You can work super small. DKO, if you're on here, I hope this looks familiar to you. Anyway, what this is little ink pads. They look like this. They're little ink pads. And you literally can take ink and you can just press down and create images. See? And what's going around here is fun tape. You see it? It's little birds. This tape has a name, Ryan. Do you remember what it is? Wasabi, not wasabi tape. It's got some kind of name, but some of you little brainiacs will remember what it is. Anyway, so you can create a teeny one. You can create a little one. You can create a small one. You can create any size you want. All right, so if you've got tape, you might want to use it. If you don't have tape, you don't have to use it. So it's that easy. So then what we want to do is we want to think about what's going to go on here. Now, for the people who are going to do this digitally, this may be a different process, but again, if you want to do it digitally, you can stuff. So the thing we're going to do is we're going to find a magazine or a book or something You can print stuff out. If you're on Canva, you can search and find an image and throw it in there. So you can do that any way you want.
Washi tape.
Washi tape. Who said that?
Rachel.
Rachel. Yes. Of course you know that. You're an art teacher and a designer. And thank you for that, Rachel. Yes, that is exactly washi tape. I said wasabi, did I? I'm not responsible for what I say most of the time. I apologize in advance. Okay. So you got your magazine, you got something that you like, you've got something that you care about. The fact that you have the magazine means that you probably care about it a little bit. Okay. The other thing that you can do for my artist friends out there, and anybody who's doing this with children, one of the things you can do very easily is you can create your own paper. Okay, what is this? Looks like a big mess, doesn't it? But what you can do is you can create your own paper and your own colors. And then what you can literally do is cut stuff out of the paper. Looks like Mickey Mouse here, doesn't it? I'm really getting into this now, aren't I? So what you can do is you can cut out the images or the colors, and you can use those as a background. So for example, on this page, I colored a page and I stuck it on there. So you can do that. Now, the fun part, I think, is about to start, in case you haven't been having fun yet. Apologies. So you get your magazine and you look through it, and you literally just breeze through it. You just start looking through it. And you're looking and you're looking and you're looking and you say, yellow flowers. I like those flowers. I want those flowers. I'm gonna rip those flowers out. Did I get a glue stick from outside? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it. I'm just gonna pull it and I'm gonna rip it and I'm gonna want it and I'm gonna use it. And then I'm gonna keep looking, keep going. Don't decide what you're gonna do with it. Don't think about it. Just decide you're going to pull that. Okay, and then say I'm thinking, you know, I really could be a little healthier. I'd like to be healthier in the new year. So as I'm going through this one, I'm gonna pull out this image of a salad, because maybe, possibly, I would put it in my mouth and eat that. Okay. So what I'm doing now is I'm just literally looking at stuff and I'm ripping it and I'm pulling it out. Now, what happens over time as you look and rip and pull things out, what happens over time is this very scary thing, is that you end up with tons of things that you have ripped out, tons of things, pieces of paper. One thing that I've learned also is I use stamps from letters that people have sent me. I use cutout images and I keep them. So one thing I learned from Tracy Vertuga's amazing class was the use of napkins and serviettes. Look at these things. They're amazing. You can actually get them in any pattern, any color, and you can rip them and you can use them. So you've got this paper, you've got these different things. And what you're doing, oh, there's a flat stomach. I know I cut that one out. Okay, so these are things that you might want. These are things you might want to experience. Here's two friends sitting having a cup of coffee on a street. How many of you want to go somewhere and have friends and have coffee with them? Like, seriously. This is like the ultimate COVID-19 picture. Okay, so, well, at least they're outside. And hopefully they're a meter from one another. But so let's just say, so what we want to do is we've got just a couple of images going here. We're starting to pull things that we like. And what you're doing for the first part here is that you are literally just ripping and reading. You're ripping and reading. You're flicking through, 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 and you're just looking. Okay, so I've just found another image that I want to pull out. I'm pulling that out. Now, the other thing that I want you to do is I want you to get in the habit, whether you're doing this physically or whether you're doing this manually, I want you to get in the habit of the way things feel. Okay, so this is, can you see it? This is a sketch of vegetables and fruits. And one of the things I said to Ryan today, there you go. Hello. One of the things I said to Ryan today was, I wanted to be sure we planned a spring garden. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss the deadlines of when things needed to be in the ground. So this is an image for me. It's a reminder. It feels a certain way. And here's another one that I see that I'm going to rip out. So one of the things to realize when you're making a vision book is you're as much about how it makes you feel as what it actually is. Okay, so maybe one of the things you would like is you would like to experience more love. Thank you, honey. You would like to experience more love. So for example, this image is 2 ferns. You see this? This is 2 fern plants. They're face to face with one another. Can you see them? And what I did is I ripped that out. And what that represents to me is how love feels, that I would like to experience being a more loving person. I'm not sure exactly how, but the thing about it is I am open to being more loving. I am open to being more in touch with nature. And this image, therefore, even though it's black and white, it represents that for me. Okay? So what I'm doing is I'm ripping it and I'm trimming it. See? Now, some of you are going to have a problem with this. You're going to be upset by this. This will bother you. Why will it bother you? Because it's messy. You don't like rough edges. You don't like uneven edges. So what you are going to need is what's called a scissors. And you are, if you are a type A person, I have done this workshop with people. I don't think she's on here now, but there's a photographer in America who took this course with me. And she literally was going to cry. She was crying over ripping pages. And we had to get her scissors, and she literally had to get a ruler. You know who you are if you're on here. She literally had to have a ruler, and she had to do it. So you can get the scissors and you can decide, I'm going to trim that into the shape of a heart. Now, some of you are type A people and you are not going to be able to rip and read. You're just not. It'll upset you. So don't upset yourself. But some of us are happy to do that. So you can take it and then you can trim it if you want. And you throw it in the pile. I just said I want to experience more love. So I just saw the word love. So I'm going to cut out the word love. Stick that to the side too. So what am I doing? I'm looking for words. I'm looking for images. I'm looking for things that feel good to me. And I'm looking for phrases that are important to me. And I just saw another phrase. I'm going to cut it out. And it says high hopes. Not to be high, but for hopes to be good. This is not a drug promotional video. Okay, so I'm cutting out the phrases of the things that I want, and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm going through and I'm ripping and I'm reading. Okay, so that is one of the ways that we're going to do our vision board. Is we're going to start going through magazines. And you know what? Sometimes if you want to do this in stages, just do that. Don't do anything else. Just do that, and then take that material and then shove that into a folder. You saw what I'm using. It's a recycled duvet cover bag, and I have them in here. And sometimes I have them for a really long time. But sometimes I'm literally like, oh gosh, I know I have an image of that. I know I have that somewhere, and I want to find that. Again, we're talking about how things feel. So here's a woman who's kind of got her hand to the side of her head. And in my mind, she looks like she's contemplative, or she looks like she's kind of cool or whatever. And so you're looking for the way things feel to you versus what they actually are. Here's a man in an apron. He's obviously cooking something. Well, I'm going to put him in my little vision book because nothing I love better than a man making food for me. So I'm going to put him in my book. Sorry, Ryan. Don't know if you know this guy. He's going in the book. Actually, Ryan is really great about making food. And so is my son, Devin. So there you are, guys. Tribute to you. So here he is, guy in an apron, cooking food. Looks like healthy food, too. And he looks happy. He's not bitchy about it. He's not miserable about it. So let's include this guy. Okay, so we're looking for things. We're like, oh, that speaks to me. This is a magazine, and it's in Dutch, I think. Is that Dutch? No, I'm not really sure. Apologies to my friends in the Netherlands, but I think it was from a friend of mine in the Netherlands. So one of the things you can do is you can just use letters and you don't even know what they mean, language that you don't even know what it means, because you're going to use the shape of it. Okay? So what you've got is you've got all this. Now, when you make your own paper or you color your own paper, you just have fun with it. You just literally get a marker and you color it, okay? So let me grab, let's just say I like this piece of paper. I've got some markings on it. and I want to add some color to it. And I literally am just going to get a pen, and I'm just going to get a marker, just going to pick favorite colors here. Some of us are primary color people, some of us are not. But I have a sister, and my sister absolutely loves purple. It's frequent for her to wear different shades of purple at the same time. If she's on here, she knows who she is. So we all have signature colors, and we should really let those colors speak to us. So one of the things that you can do is you can get a favorite color that you want, and you can just color something. And then what you can do is you can get another color in, as we said, hopefully the complementary color we talked about a few minutes ago. And if you didn't find something that you wanted that said what you were feeling, you can make your own. And I think this would be a very common phrase for a lot of people in January. But I created cash flow. Okay, so if you don't see it somewhere but you want it, you can make it yourself. Cash flow. Okay, so these are things we're wanting to experiencing. These are things we're wanting to feel. I hope this is starting to make sense to you. And what we want to do is we want to spend some time gathering some materials. So that's going to take you a while. You may or may not be super speedy at this. I've been doing this for about 15 years, probably longer. I've been teaching it for about 15 years. I've been doing it myself. Oh, geez, long time. Probably before some of you were born. Scary enough. Okay, so what you're doing is you're gathering the content of what you might want on your vision board. And some of you are doing this digitally. Some of you are wicked smart, and you are on there digitally whipping stuff together right now as I speak. And some of you are not, and that's fine too. So some of you are like ink and tape. Some of you are printing stuff up. You can go online and look for images and print them out. You can go online and make it digitally and don't print anything out. You can find notes or cards or things that someone sent you that mean something to you. Or don't mean something to you, and you can take those and you can literally cut out images from them. As you can see behind me, I have some lovely cards that I've gotten. You are as beautiful as all the colors in the rainbow. That's so precious. So if you wanted, you could cut that out, and you could even cut the compliment out and stick that somewhere, because like that's so exciting. So you can use greeting cards. Another thing, I don't know where it went, but our 2020 calendar that we had, you absolutely could use that. So these are all things that you may or may not have around the house. And again, if you want, you can take things that are meaningful to you or important to you and put them in there. So if somebody sent you something, or your child did a picture or something, this is about how you want to feel. This is about how you want to experience the world. This isn't about what you want to get. I hope that helps. Okay. So what you're looking for is you're looking to create a vision of how you want to experience 2021, not just specific stuff that you want. In other words, you don't want to treat the universe like a vending machine where you put in money and what you want drops in when you put the numbers in. Okay, because the problem with that kind of behavior is that kind of behavior is a little bit what we would call transactional. Okay, so we don't necessarily want to be so transactional we don't want to be so transactional that we act like that's what we want. Oh, I see. Look, here's our calendar from 2021. It's got some gorgeous colors in it. Some beautiful images in it. Oh, we've got another one too from another room in the house. I don't know about you, but I would probably put location photos in it just because I'd like to go anywhere other than my kitchen. So some of these things, again, this might represent reflection or comfort or an adventure or joy or love. So you're about how it feels, not about what it actually is. Okay, so that's something for you to keep in mind. For example, when you see this, I'm not sure what you think, but some of us might see independence, freedom. Okay, so again, gathering the images of how you want to feel. using them. And you may use them just for the color because the color speaks to you. Look at these rich colors here. This is obviously autumn in Ireland, and you know, that could speak to you, you know, and be empowering for you. So what you want to do is, as you gather these things, you can do this in stages. So don't pressure yourself that all of this has to be done today or in one day or in one sitting. This can be a process. And the gathering process is a very organic process. Okay?
Joanne.
Oh, I love it, Joanne. Yes, fabulous. Is that your son already painting? Oh, that makes me so happy. I'm loving it. Loving it. Good man. Good man. Well done. Again, you could cut out this color or you could paint this color. Okay, so these are all choices that you have, and I love it. If you want, folks, and you're working on these things, if you want to take a photo and throw it into the Facebook group there, I would love to see that. Now, you can get these colors on this in any way you want. This is a teeny little watercolor book, a little box. It's just watercolors. Any paint you have, any markers you have, any coloring pencils you have, there is no wrong way to do this. The only wrong thing is to do nothing. So if you want to use markers, you can. If you've got paints, you can. Some of you are going to be super jealous, but these are acrylic inks. Some of you are going to be upset that they're all just falling around on one another in there. They usually look better than that. But anyway, I love. I have an absolute love affair with acrylic inks. You can buy them in most art supply stores, and at the moment, most of you are going to have to get them online. But anyway, this is amazing. Now, if you've got yellow and you've got red and you've got blue, you have all the colors in the universe, basically, with the exception of black and white, of course. You can get a dark brown, but so basically, if you've got colors and you mix colors, which is another thing that your wheel will tell you, you can basically make anything happen. So I'm going to get my acrylic ink here, and I'm going to throw down some color. And I'm gonna get a little mess going here. Literally, I just made a mess. It's not unusual, is it? And ooh, so I threw some ink, acrylic ink on the page, and I'm spreading it around, spreading it around. It's dripping as well, and I'm just kind of using it and I'm creating it. I think some of you are throwing some images in the Facebook group, which I'm very excited to see. And some of you are on WhatsApp with me. You can throw it in the WhatsApp if you don't want to be so public with your finds. I obviously do not usually dress up to paint because I am what one might call messy. It's okay, Ryan, you don't have to say that's true. Are you showing me images here? Yitka? Look at you, you're almost finished already. You were so amazing. What does it say? Oh, she's so brilliant. Enrich your life. That is genius. That woman is amazing. You guys are amazing. Okay, so I just want to show you something that I did here. It's a bit tricky, but let's see if you can see it. I put some yellow and then I added some red to it, and now it's running like mad all over the place. But I kind of like what it's doing because, ooh, look at that. Look at that. I throw some water on it. So what it's doing, in my opinion, is creating a kind of splattery. I'm just throwing stuff. Like, can you hear that noise? Can you hear the drums? That's my son playing the drums. You know, when your mother's giving a workshop online, you should go and play the drums. That's the best thing you could do. Okay, anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm squishing this around, I'm moving this around, I'm letting it happen, And probably for me, I would say mixing it up for 2021 is important. I love the keywords. I'm a huge fan of the power of language. One of the biggest mistakes that humans make is that we have language and we think it makes us better than the rest of the animal kingdom. And unfortunately, what it really does is it screws a lot of us up. It messes us up. And one of the reasons it messes us up is because we get so attached to the language when what we really need to do is be more careful with our language. We need to be very careful, especially for my young people who are on here with their mums and dads today. It's really important that you learn at a very early age to only speak kindly about yourself. There's no mistake that you can make here. This is completely error-free zone. Some of you are going to get a little frustrated because this won't be, you know, something that should be in the Louvre. It'll be imperfect in some way. But what I'm doing is I'm just whizzing around some paint, some acrylic ink paint with some water. Now I'm going to be like, Ryan, can you go in the other room with a hairdryer and blow dry this for me, because it's going to take too long. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry a little bit. I'm going to stop messing with it so much. But remember this, a lot of great, amazing, incredible humans in the world kept art journals, kept books, kept creating things like this, really reinforce things. One of my favorites is Carl Jung. He was an incredible philosopher, or well, psychologist really, and I would be a big fan of his work. But Carl Jung kept an art journal book, and he kept images in it. I'd hate to see what he'd think about that red and yellow creation I've just made. Anyway, but if I move it around, look what's happening. It's moving around. It's making itself into its own painting, and I'm just moving it. See, just being silly and moving it around, just wiggling it. I can blow on it, I can move it around. Okay, and always put your lids back on your stuff, because let me just tell you, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've messed things up that way. Okay, so you're looking at colors that make you feel something. Now, some of you, I think, based on what Ryan is showing me, have already like basically finished your vision boards and you're done. Congratulations. But what you're looking at in your vision boards is adding some color, and adding colors that mean something to you, adding colors that make you feel alive, whether it's a blue and it's comforting to you, or whether it's red and it makes you feel a bit passionate, whether it's yellow and it feels comforting to you, whether it's green and it represents nature or money or whatever it is. The problem with most humans is we just focus on what we don't have instead of what we do have, and the gratitude we have for what we want. And the other thing that we need to do is to really focus on what we want to experience. Anything can go in your vision board. This is some dried lavender. No, it's not. What is this? It's from it's a dried flower anyway. But you can put dried flowers in there. You can put anything in there. You can use rubbings in there. You can do different kinds of things in there. Another thing that you can do is when you have the ink that's wet or the paint that's wet, you can take your paintbrush and you can write other words in underneath, because in large part, we're about the layers. Okay, so what I did there is I wrote the word love over there, and it's starting to run already. But what you can do is you can create layers in your vision board. In fact, you can have one layer, and then you can have another layer, and then you can have another layer. And so then what we're gonna do is, this is still drying. Are you going to throw a photo on Facebook there of me in chaos, Ryan? Thanks for that. Okay, so you can use glue sticks if you want. Children, be careful. Your parents will steal your art supplies. And you can stick that on there. Hi, Xander. Xander's just come in to see what's going on in the kitchen. This is my son, Xander. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Hi, everybody. No, he's just seeing what I'm doing. Okay, it's getting close to wrapping up time here. Do you have questions for me? If you do, can you throw them into the Facebook group and ask me them? Ryan, do you have any questions on there? Is anybody asking anything?
Nobody's. Lots of yours. Positive words.
Yeah, let's hear what your words are, your affirmation words are for yourself for 2021. What are some of your affirmations for 2021? What are some things that you want to hear, want to do, want to see, want to feel? I'm just whipping stuff together here, so I just saw something I wanted to grab. Oops. I don't know what that noise was. I just saw something there. So again, you might find splashes of color, and you might find those colors because you want to have experiences. Ryan's laughing, somebody's being funny.
Caroline, can we see your assistant?
Yes, Ryan, come on over here. He's gonna brush his hair.
Annie says boundless creativity.
Aw, thanks, Amy.
Gosha says, let it be easy.
Yes, let it be easy. That's one of our code words in our tribe, isn't it? Let it be easy. Because you know what? It is easy. It is easy. And I'll tell you why it's easy. It's easy because when you're in the flow, it's easy. Come on over here, Ryan.
Oh, Jesus.
That Caroline Holmes. Give her a wave. Bend down. There's Ryan. Isn't he awesome? Yeah, he looks even more handsome in an apron. Let me just tell you, super hot in an apron. Some of you are like, children, just ignore that woman. Okay, fabulous. Yes, he's amazing. And honestly, I would just be so sad without you, Ryan. I'm glad you're here and happy and well. Ryan had a bit of a health scare this year. So I think when Ryan does his vision board, running and jumping and breathing will be front and center, won't it?
Yes.
Trish,
aka Rose.
Oh yeah, Trish Rose. Hey, Trish Rose.
Says clarity, love, alignment, and flow.
Ooh, loving it. And she knows all about flow. She literally wrote a book on flow. The woman knows flow, don't you? It's an amazing thing. So yeah, let's throw our keywords in there. And again, if you've got your keyword, that's great. If you found it in a magazine or something, but you can just write it on there. You can just lop it on there. You can just create that feeling. We're cutting and pasting here like nobody's business as we're looking at that. You know, I just have a big finale here, and I'm not quite there yet. But one of the things that I want to point out to all of you that you may or may not have realized is that you may think you want a thing, but it's highly unlikely it's a thing that you want. It's an experience that you want, okay? So it's very, very likely that in your mind, you're saying, if I had this thing, I would be better. Like if I had this much money, if I weighed this much, if I had this partner, if I had this thing, if this hadn't happened, whatever. And we have this conditional love for ourselves. And one of our biggest mistakes is thinking that our happiness is determined outside of ourselves. Happiness is literally a choice. Now, I'm not saying that these great earrings here don't make me happy. I have to tell you, when I put them on, I just feel better. Okay. I think I'm working up a sweat here, Ryan. Look at me, I'm all glowy. So one of the things that I want to point out to you is, as much as we think that a thing will make us happy, it's really, really not what the deal is. The deal is that we're looking to feel a certain way. Okay, we're looking to feel a certain way, and we're looking to experience a certain thing. And one of the problems we have is that we are seeking something outside of ourselves, and that thing outside of ourselves, or that person or that job or whatever it is we think will somehow fix us. There is no fixing us, because there's nothing wrong with us. However, what there is deciding, how do we want to feel? What is it that we want to feel? So what we do in our vision board, this is the joy of it. What we do in the vision board is we say, I want to feel this way. This is how I want to feel. This is what I want to experience. Okay. And that's the whole magic of this. This is about living our lives experientially. It is about living from the experience of what and how we want to feel. Okay. It is getting our value. It's getting our value and getting clear about our value and what matters to us and why that matters to us. And I'll tell you, here's the secret. The secret is that that's within you now, that there is a choice within you now. There is a choice within you now to experience life as you want now. Now, right now. For example, somebody throw in the Facebook group there, Ryan, if they can. Throw in there a problem you think you're having, and then think of how solving that problem would feel for you. How would you feel if that wasn't a problem anymore? What would that experience be like for you? Okay. So think about that for just a minute. What would that be like for you? What would it be like for you if that problem that you didn't want anymore could just go away? I'm going to take a moment here and pause because I know there's a lag on Facebook, so I've got to wait a second.
Annie was saying, well, before that, I missed.
Okay.
Lots of different people are saying that lack of magazines is.
Their biggest problem is lack of magazines. Oh no! I'm so sorry. You'll find all the images you need. They will find you. You'll find them. And you know what's so crazy is what happens to me is everybody who knows me starts giving me magazines. So I end up with tons and tons of magazines. So I wish you lived closer to me because I could drop you like 100 of them right now as we speak. But again, I think I told you before, this can come from anywhere. Like right now, I'm ripping off stamps from a cute little letter that a friend sent me from Sweden. So I'm tearing up the little stamps and I'm putting the little stamps into my vision book because one of the things that I would like to experience is more connection. I would like to travel myself, but it doesn't look like I will. But while I'm not traveling, I would like to express that I want to feel a greater sense of connection. So remember, some of the things on your board are literal, and some of the things on your board are actually not literal at all. They are a symbol of something. Yes, Ryan.
Lisa T says relief.
Relief. Right? Relief, release, letting it go. I had a moment of terror when Zoom would not open right. I don't know what was going on there, but I just said to myself, release. Let me feel that relief now. Just breathing into it, breathing into the moment, breathing into what you do want to experience. And let me just say this to you all as well. One of the most powerful ways to experience something is to ask, is to just ask. I mentioned to my hairdresser that my hair was very frizzy and it was driving me crazy. And she said, well, why don't you get yourself the shampoo that I use when you're here at the salon? And I was like, yeah, why don't I? And she told me what it was. And she said, oh, we've got a Christmas offer. If you get these two, you get the third one free, right? And I was thinking to myself, why didn't I say to her before that I was feeling this way? Why did I wait so long to mention to her that this was bothering me, right? So I got relief from frizzy hair in 2 washes, like done, gone, away, no more, right? So one of the things that I want to say to all of you is sometimes we are carrying something that is just too heavy for us. And what we have to do is just realize that we can trust something greater than ourselves, that we're not in this alone. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. Can you see it? This is what I've got so far. So it says, high hopes, to get you to the weight you'd love to be and to stay there for your life. Say yes, giving nature a home. And then I have some flowers, and I have a stamp from Sweden with a bird on it. And I have another bird carrying a letter, and I have a little other bird carrying a letter. And it says Helvetica, which is one of my favorite typefaces. And I think that it's saying Helvetica is because I'm going to finish a new book. I feel that coming on. And so the yellow and the red, I think it speaks for itself. I've picked some things. There's 2 women having coffee, and they're sitting on a cool street. And I am defo absolutely missing my friends, my girls, my team, my tribe, and being in the presence of people. So I just want to show you something super quick, and hopefully it'll go right. When you whip off the tape, God willing, and the creek don't rise, as they say in the South.
Nice.
There you go. There's your edge, baby. A nice clean edge. So now what you can do if you want is to go through, and let's all pick a pen if we haven't already, or a marker, a favorite color. I'm going to go for some hot pink. And I'm going to write an intention on this vision board for 2021. Okay, what you say?
We can hope for travel.
We can hope for travel. Absolutely, we can hope for travel. I wrote on here, I am loved as I am now. Right? I am loved as I am now. So what I wrote on here was, I am loved as I am now. And I'm going to write over here in hot pink as well, I am open to new ventures, because I am open to new ventures, okay? Now, whatever it is that you feel that you want to experience in 2020, I want you to write it on here, okay? So I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about what it is that you want to experience and how you want to feel. Whatever that is, shiny, bright, loving, energetic, calm, happy, contented, lovable, joyful. These are all words. Grab them out of the air, put them down, and use those words. And one of the things that I want you to do, and if you're brave, you'll do it today, is to show someone you love your vision board. This isn't a thing we do here in this house. Is where we create a vision board, and it's going to be Ryan's turn next. So we create a vision board, and then after we create that vision board, we show it to one another, and we say, these are the things I'm wanting to experience. I'm wanting to experience new ventures. I'm wanting to experience a greater cash flow. I'm wanting to experience feeling love now as I am. Okay, so one of the things that we want to do is we want to keep adding. We want to keep adding to our board, and it could be that we find something that we just think has a gorgeous color, like I love this blue color, right? And we might say, ooh, I love that, love me a little bit of blue color. And I'm going to take that blue color and I'm going to add it in here. I'm going to stick it in, and I'm going to glue that in. I'm going to layer that in. I'm going to layer this in over here, and you know, we can keep adding to it. And if we want, we can take this and we can use it in a book. We can use it in a book, and we can decide we want to create. This book literally came from the Euro store. I'll be with you soon. Yeah.
Would you please?
Yeah, it's going
dinner?
Dinner time is coming right up. Xander's reminding me. I still haven't gotten my new typewriter, but I think it's going to happen. But it says underneath it, nature at work. So I could actually take this page and cut it in half and stick it on 2 pages in this book. So you can do this on an ongoing basis for you all family members. You could decide, hey, every year, this is going to be our family tradition. For the beginning of the year, we're going to create a vision book, and we're going to make that vision book together, and we're going to do this together. It's a lovely way to express yourself. If you have a hard time saying how you feel, a bright blue or a pink, or I remember one time I was doing a vision page and I was in such a dark space, I literally made it all black. I kid you not, I made it all black. So I just, if there's any final remarks, anything, any questions, any thoughts, any concerns? I'll go through the comments later when I'm not trying to talk at the same time. Anything, Ryan, that I need to know? Questions?
No questions, lots of support.
Aww.
You are looking beautiful in your lovely red velvet. Jean says, I'm with you, sister.
Aw, Jean's on here. Hi, sister.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Aw.
Amazing. Lots of positivity here.
Lots of love. And you know, I just want you to realize that you are exactly who you need to be, exactly where you need to be. And that one of my favorite quotes from a poet is Hafiz said, that which you are seeking is seeking you. Maybe it was Rumi. One of you will correct me. But that idea the Eastern mystics had, that which you are seeking is seeking you, you know? And that is such a beautiful idea. You're seeking something, but you're not sharing that with the world. And what the vision book does is it takes what you are seeking and it puts it out there for you so that you can draw that in. I am a little skeptical of things like, oh, I just said I wanted it, and then 6 weeks later I was sitting on my couch making 6 figures. I don't like to say things like that because I don't think that transactional is how the universe works. I don't think you just say this to get this. I'm not doing this free workshop today to get something. I'm just doing it because it was something that I was going to do anyway. And I thought, well, I could be nutty and try and do it with a bunch of other people. I don't know how many people we still have on here with us, Ryan.
Yeah, 23.
So 23 of you have been incredibly brave. So look, some of you got going. It looks like I've seen photos already of some of you who are finished. That's incredible. Well done. But this, for some of you, is going to be a longer process. This is going to take longer. This is a life's work. You might just take some time to get organized and do this. It may be something you do once a week. It may be something you do once a month. It may be something you do each season as the season changes. But your vision can always be updated. I don't know if Sarah's on there. I hope she finished her vision board. I know she had a half-done one. She told me she's going to bring her half-done vision board to class. So I'm hoping we're seeing these. If you want, hopefully this is going to remain live on Facebook. You can throw up your image. That sounds terrible, don't throw up anything, but put up your image if you want to share. But if you don't feel like you want to, don't feel that you have to, but do share it with the people that you love, because to share your vision with the people that you love is to show your trust, and it's to invite them to tell you what it is that they want as well. And it's to create that opening. And if we can all just be a little bit more open and be a little bit more loving and a bit more kind and a bit more gentle. I mean, Dee and I have been saying, my friend Dee and I have been saying all week, kindness is your superpower, right? And when you're young and you're little, or when you're old and you're hurt and you're bitter, and sometimes we think that it's a mistake, but it's never a mistake to be kind. And that has to start with us. We have to begin by being kind to ourselves. It's the most important thing. The last thing I want to mention to you is that it is January, and those of us in the transformation business are like Santa's elves before Christmas. We're busy, busy, busy creating things. So I just want to say to you that there are 3 things I'm offering in January that might be helpful to you. One is 52 Ways is now going to 52 weeks. So it used to be 52 Ways in 52 days. 52 Ways is starting next week, which is technically Monday. And that's €52. And if you want to do that, it's once a week. You get an email from me with some exercises, and you get some thoughts from Gosha, who's going to be co-facilitating this group with me. And I'm so grateful to her for doing that. So if you'd like to have a mindful practice way and a podcast and affirmation and some other things from me once a week for the whole of 2021, that is starting next week. And it's €52 for the whole year. Another workshop I'm doing is Living Your Best Live, which is for people who have to do lives like me for a living, or who have to do Zoom meetings or workshops, and those people can get some help in that, and that's a small group. And then I have another workshop which is starting in the middle of January that goes till Valentine's Day, which is Mastering Your Mojo, and that's for people who have something they want to do and get it done. All of this information is on my website, which is www.freemymojo.com. And we are so excited because today we are working on our YouTube channel. There's gonna be tons of videos on there. We're gonna do more of these kinds of things that will be up there for free and help you. So if there's something I can do that you would like some information on, message me, call me, ask me, invite me, let's collaborate. This is about growing the tribe this year. This is about really going global and reaching people. So I added a couple of little bits to my vision board. Ooh, let's see, can you see that?
It's like a 10-second delay.
So that's what I whipped up in the last hour or so while we were here. And I hope you've done something gorgeous that you love. And I hope you make time for yourself. I hope you've had fun. Some of you are private, as you need to be, as you should be, to feel safe. So if you want to message me afterwards, please do. But it's been my pleasure to have you here, my pleasure to be here. And I look forward to doing more of these kinds of things. And my apologies to my Zoom group people. I don't know what to tell you, but I will get that sorted. And happy New Year to you. And I know and I believe in you. And whatever you put on your vision board is as good as yours. So enjoy yourself. Thanks so much for joining me, and take care. Bye now. Bye. Ryan, say bye.
Bye.
Bye from Ryan too. Bye.